LaTosha Brown is co-founder of Black Voters Matter. That's one of the groups leading this We Ain't Buying It effort. LaTosha, welcome back to the show. Let me start here. So we know about the reason behind the Target focus. Tell me about why you're also focusing on Home Depot and Amazon.
You know, when we look at Home Depot, it's interesting. Home Depot has actually built their business is based on home improvement and construction, and they've built their business on the backs, quite frankly, of immigrant labor, in an industry that depends on immigrant labor. But what we've seen is they've actually been colluding with ICE to provide information to surveillance. One of the groups that's a part of the coalition, that two of the workers that were in the store that they called, that ICE actually came in their store and attacked while they were in there. And so Home Depot has also been capitulating. They have aligned themselves with this administration that is creating hurt and harm on the very people who have helped to build this business.
And Amazon?
And Amazon, what we see at Amazon is also they've been supporting, just for a tax break, they've been supporting this administration, providing $1 million for the inauguration, you know, so that they can get tax benefits at our expense. And what we're saying is that we expect corporations to be accountable to the customers. You can't align yourself with an administration that does not that is hurting and harming our communities. We won't buy it. We ain't buying it.
Now, before we get to some of the goals of this protest, this boycott, Walmart rolled back their DEI. There have been ICE missions and operations outside of Lowe's locations. Why these two and not the others?
Well, you know, part of what we're asking people, and I think what you're going to see across the board this weekend, what you're going to see across the board is that many of those companies, they're going to see they're going to see their sales be down. What we wanted to do is to send a message with these three companies. One, it's measurable. They're focused. We're focused on that, but we're saying we ain't buying it. We're not standing with any company, right? These three are just the beginning. They're not the end. Those other companies as well, we've been asking people to hold their money, to not support and shop with companies that do not align with the values that we believe that supports our communities, including these other companies. These three companies just happen to be the companies that we decided that because of what was happening, because we're seeing egregious nature, that we would focus on those three companies.
And so how long is this going?
For this particular action, this is throughout the weekend up until Monday, which we're calling Cyber Shutdown Monday. But we're hoping that people take ownership, and we've already been seeing it. We have over 100 organizations that have signed on, that are part of this effort, millions of people that are participating, and we're hoping that folks will take their ownership, that they will become much more disciplined consumers, and that this will continue as we go forward.
And so if people hold their sales until Tuesday, right? What you were going to buy on Amazon, what were you going to get at Target, you hold until Tuesday. What do you think the impact of the pressure campaign will be?
Well, let me tell you this. In this weekend alone, 20 to 30% of retail sales happens. That when you're looking at the fourth quarter earnings, it is determined on this week. For many businesses, particularly retail businesses, right, 6 months out, this is projection not just only for their fourth quarter, but this is the most important, I think, consumer weekend. That's why it was called Black Friday, on Friday. And so this will send a message that in this short period of time that is known as the retail moment, it's called Black Friday, because many companies, this is when they go into the black, right? So that's why it's the impact based on this has been a major sale, a cultural day where people shop and buy holiday shopping during this weekend.
Okay, so there seems to be one difference between the We Ain't Buying It effort and let's say the Target Fast. The Target Fast had a specific list of demands. They wanted 5 specific things. I went to the website for this effort, and I didn't see any list of demands. Right. So what is the measurement of success here? Just to impact sales for 3 or 4 days? Or do you want something in exchange?
That's a great question. I think there's a couple of things. One, the Target Fast is now the Target boycott, but this isn't a boycott. This is a consumer action. What we're saying is 3 things. One, we are reclaiming our power as consumers, that we will make more conscious choices. That part of the reason why we're working with 100 aligned organizations and millions of people, because we want, as consumers, we have a responsibility to be much more conscientious of how we spend our money. The second thing is really around redirecting our resources, that we're asking people to not spend with these large retailers, but we also are encouraging them to spend with small and local and Black-owned businesses, many of them that have taken a hit in this economy. And then the third thing is really around resistance, that we're sending a message loud and clear that those companies that align with policies that hurt and harm us, that we are resistant. We will not support them. And so it's not just about how the bottom line of these companies in a boycott. It's also about the consumers' reactions. It's also about us really building a muscle that as consumers, we're saying and taking our power, and that we have to be more conscious around our spending choices.
And so, and you were on the show with Pastor Jamal Bryant, who's one of the leaders of the Target Fast. And after months of that effort, Target acknowledged that foot traffic was down at stores, sales were down, the stock price was down. Brian Cornell, the CEO, transitioned away from that role, and still Target did not change their DEI policies that led to the boycott.
Well, just as Target is making a choice, so are we. So we're making a choice that we are not going to stand and support businesses that, one, have literally built this idea, saying on one hand, they were saying that, oh, we are welcoming and we want to support communities. And then what you're seeing is the moment that they're abandoning those values, they abandon that, which tells you that they've used identity just as a marketing ploy, not necessarily because it's been a value. And so people have power. We have choice. And just as they're making choices to abandon these policies that we believe actually help and support our communities, we're making a choice, we ain't buying it, to spend with them as they undermine and align themselves with policies that hurt and harm us.
And again, you say that this is just the start. Have you efforted conversations with the executives of these companies?
Some of the members of our, yes, I know that Target, I myself have not, because as we said, this is a consumer action. Yeah. So for us, I want to be clear to make the distinction that we're doing a consumer action, but as a part of that, the Target boycott and others that are part of our coalition have been in conversation, have been open on that. And I'm hoping that those companies see how serious we are on this, and that this isn't about one organization, one company, even one boycott action. This is about how do we change the culture of consumers? How do we change the culture of those of us who have resources in such a way that we're going to spend them with companies that feel that they are more responsible to our communities.
All right, LaTosha Brown, I thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.